Hello viewers, welcome to the channel Ponvaira Citadel. In this video, we'll be discussing about CBD-COP 16, which is a very hot topic under Unit 9, which is People, Development and Environment of UGC-NET Paper-1. Let's get into the topic. Well, let me tell you what is CBD-COP 16. CBD is Convention of Biological Diversity. And COP16 is the 16th Conference of Parties. And this was held in Cali, Colombia with 23,000 pre-registered delegates from as many as 190 countries. And the main theme was peace with nature. As I told you, this COP16 was held in Cali, Colombia recently. That is, it was held in October 2024. And it is actually a follow-up of COP15, which was held in Kunming, Montreal. And it was a historic adoption of KMGBF in the year 2022. So what is KMGBF? It is Kunming Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework. So the framework was formed already in the year 2022. And this COP16 agenda is to define the implementation of the framework's ambitious goals and the 23 global targets for the year 2030. So already the framework is laid, and the COP16th agenda is to define how to implement this framework, which has got as many goals as 23. And one of the most important goal was 30 by 30 agreement. The name of the goal is 30 by 30 agreement, which you should know. What does it mean? It means it is to protect the 30% of the world's land and 30% of world's seas by the year 2030. So that is 30 by 30 agreement. And now you should know it is only 17% of land and 10% of water is protected. So the aim is to reach 30%, both land and 30% sea. So that should be protected. That is 30 by 30 agreement. And this was the important agenda discussed in COP16. And what were the other agendas apart from the 30 by 30 agreement? One is to reduce the invasive species by 50% and minimizing their impact by 2030. So the year of target, all the targets were aimed at should finish by 2030. So reduce the invasive species. What is invasive species? That is the species of animals or plants which come from other land, from foreign land, which we don't want. They are called invasive species, like weeds and other things. And we should reduce it by 50% by the year 2030. And also reduce its impact. Because why we don't want these invasive species? Because they will spoil our cultivated plants. We don't want them. So that is the main idea. And another agenda is to reduce the pollution risk and their negative impact by the year 2030. And another agenda is to set up a mechanism for benefit sharing from the use of digital sequencing information on genetic sources and traditional knowledge. This is a very important agenda discussed during the COP16. And it is also known as ABS for short. What is ABS? Access and benefit sharing. Access to what? Access to the digital sequencing information. That is, we know now the sequencing of amino acids is being done on a larger scale, both for plants and animals. So this ABS policy ensures the way in which genetic resources are accessed and used maximizes the benefit for the users or the providers. And who are the users? Who are the providers? They are the local community, the people. They provide the organisms, the local plants or the local animals for extraction of some chemicals or for the extraction of certain drugs. So they should be able to get the maximum benefit of this technology, namely the digital sequencing information. So they should have more access to this information and they should have more access to this benefit. So this is what is called ABS, access and benefit sharing. So that was also one of the main agendas discussed in COP16 in Colombia. Well, the other goals discussed in COP16 were to integrate biodiversity into policies. So this topic of biodiversity conservation should be included along with any other governmental policies like developmental policies. And also the ways to organize fundings were discussed. How to implement this framework. You need a lot of fund. So who is going to fund it? Whether each country will take care of its own expenditure or is there going to be any international funding? So all this were discussed in this COP16. And also they included the involvement of indigenous people and local communities. So as I've told you, this ABS, access and benefit sharing method, is mainly to include the local people for both access for the data and for the access to the benefits. And their knowledge, traditional knowledge, should also be utilized. So these were discussed. And finally, the climate change also to be integrated along with biodiversity. So all these were discussed in COP16. Now coming to the important question, what was India's contribution to this COP16 held at Colombia? Well, India presented an updated biodiversity plan. That is, India expects to spend around 81,664 crores on biodiversity and conservation. And also India mentioned the need for international finance to meet the goals. India spoke about the need for international funding in order to meet all these goals, including this 30 by 30 agreement and ABS, everything, all the 23 target goals. And India also cited the significant step in global wildlife conservation that it has taken by establishing the International Big Cat Alliance, also known as IBCA. That is, recently India has established an alliance with other countries worldwide in order to conserve the big cats. What are the big cats? The 7 big cats listed are lion, tiger, leopard, snow leopard, cheetah, jaguar, and puma. So all these 7 species are to be conserved and protected. So India made an international alliance. And also India has raised its Ramsar sites from number 26 to 85. What are Ramsar sites? Ramsar sites are wetlands of international importance. So these are the main contributions of India to this conference of parties. Now, what is the biggest challenge? The biggest challenge that these countries will be facing is how to convert these words into action, how to implement them, what is the action plan, who is going to fund it, the most important question. So that is the big challenge. Well, that is all about this CBD-COP16. CBD is Convention of Biological Diversity, and COP is Conference of Parties. And you can very well expect some questions from this because this is a recent conference held in the year 2024. So you may expect questions like what was the main theme? The theme was the peace with nature. And what is the acronym stands for, things like that, and you should be able to write this. So that is why I published this video first, because this is a recently held conference, so you should know it. So other topics under the unit 9, that is people development and environment, will follow very soon. Stay tuned to Panvaira Citadel. Thank you. Bye bye.